Man had just been taking a nap on his big bed. But when he woke up, he was suddenly horrified to discover that an emergency alert was being broadcast on the TV. Before he could figure out what was going on, a piercing scream suddenly rang out from outside. But when he rushed to the balcony to look, the scene before him left him speechless. A helicopter was roaring overhead, then lost control and crashed into a residential building. The sight nearly sent Jack reeling with fear. But the very next second, another wave of screams erupted from below. He scrambled to the railing to look down. Everyone was frantically fleeing for their lives, as if something terrifying were hunting them down. To make matters worse, his girlfriend was standing among the crowd below. Just as Jack was about to ask her what was happening, she lunged at an elderly man and began tearing into him with her teeth. Meanwhile, more helicopters were spiraling out of control. Just as Jack was panicking in terror, his neighbor burst in frantically, saying his wife seemed to have gone mad, and asking Jack to take him in. Before Jack could even catch his breath, the neighbor clutched his head to tend to his wound. Realizing the danger, Jack grabbed a knife for self-defense. At that moment, the TV began broadcasting breaking news. A zombie virus had broken out in the city. Once infected, people would turn into zombies within a short time. The neighbor saw the news as well. He desperately tried to explain that he wasn't infected. But just then, his eyes turned blood red. To be on the safe side, Jack had no choice but to force him out. He then quickly locked the door from the inside. Soon, a scream echoed down the hallway. Curious, Jack peeked through the peephole and discovered his neighbor had become a zombie's meal, watching the TV, which kept broadcasting warnings for residents not to go outside. Jack seemed to realize the city had fallen. It wasn't until he pulled out his phone that he noticed his parents had sent him several messages early that morning. The situation in their city didn't look good either. Terrified, he hurriedly called his parents, but no one answered after trying for a long time. Realizing he had to take action to survive, Jack wasted no time. He dragged the fridge to block the door, then moved the bed from his bedroom into the living room, so he could keep an eye on the situation outside at all times. He then sealed the windows tightly shut, to avoid being spotted by the zombies outside. But even so, someone was still knocking at the door. So Jack held his breath and dared not move, fearing he'd be spotted by the infected outside. He thought he'd be safe as long as he stayed hidden inside. But unexpectedly, that night, a sudden noise came from the bathroom. An ominous premonition immediately washed over him. So Jack grabbed a baseball bat and went to investigate. To his surprise, he found a female zombie that had crawled in through the ventilation duct. To save his life, Jack attacked her from behind. Realizing he couldn't leave the body inside the house, Jack had no choice but to throw the female zombie downstairs, and then use a surfboard to block the vent. Before he knew it, he had been trapped in the house for a week. The food in the house was almost gone. Just as he was feeling helpless about what lay ahead, his phone suddenly received a voicemail from his parents. But what he never could have imagined was that this was actually his parents' final message to Jack. Realizing that his beloved parents were no longer in this world, Jack instantly broke down in tears. But after crying, his eyes were filled with rage, so he grabbed a baseball bat and prepared to go outside for a final showdown with the zombies. To his surprise, he found a zombie lying on the ground, and it was none other than his next-door neighbor. Just then, a horde of zombies was drawn to the scene, forcing Jack to run frantically back home. He slipped through the door at the very last second. After that ordeal,